What's up, my loves? It's your girl Diamond, and I'm back with an all new episode of Growing Up Hip Hop. Let's get into it. So, we start off with Brianna. She's at home. She calls TT and she talks about the night she got arrested. So, a woman who she calls a prostitute brought the police to the door. She was putting her son to bed, and the police knocked multiple times but did not announce who they were. Knock, knock. She kept saying, "Who is it? Who is it?" They never announced who they were. When it kept persisting, that's when she got a weapon, her machete, to protect herself and protect her husband, protect her son. Um, and then when she found out it was the police, they pointed their gun at her chest. It was on her live. She had everything on camera, and she was on her live talking about polygamous relationship. And right when she found out it was the police, they got rough. They put their foot, they busted the door, grabbed her. She said, "Why am I getting arrested?" "You're not getting arrested, you're getting detained." "Okay, why am I being detained?" So they dragged her, grabbed her forcefully, held her against the wall in her underwear. And her son is seeing the whole thing. He's afraid, he's screaming. She said, "Please don't traumatize my son. My son, my son, my son." Closed the door. And while she was getting arrested, she had no idea her reason. The crime that she committed to why she was getting arrested. And it took them 2 hours to come up with the charge. It was brandishing a weapon that they charged her with. Hello? You're knocking on my door, not announcing who you are. You don't have a legitimate reason to knock on my door like this. I asked who it was. So I have my weapon that I did not cross the threshold. I did not point. I did not, do this. I was protecting my home. So for you to say I was brandishing a weapon, she didn't brandish it towards the police. She was to protecting herself and her son because the policemen forced their way in. 2 hours? So we now find the reason why she was arrested. A woman who Brianna was helping build her credit. A car was in that woman's name because apparently Brianna wanted to buy a new car, but her business credit couldn't afford it. Another woman wanted to help her out by lessening the down payment so she can get a lower car note. But since the woman had her name on it, she wanted to call the police and say my car was stolen, even though Brianna was the one who was paying the car. I'm like, oh my God. So basically, it did not go deeper than what she said, but to me, it gave off, you must have made the woman mad, or y'all have had an out, and she wanted to get back at you, and she wanted to call the police and say, my car has been stolen. But at the same point in time, it's Bree's information that's paying for the car. The girl didn't have any credit to get the car, and Brianna's credit couldn't afford it, but Brianna had enough money to put the money down. I think it's just maybe her name had less of an issue to get a lower payment, but it's still fucked up. It's still fucked up. Here's why you shouldn't do things like that with friends. It gets tricky, it gets messy. Even if it was an associate that you want to help, it still gets messy because at the end of the day, even though it was her name on the card, it was legally bounded to her, but Brianna was the one paying for it. So TT talks about, I would never have understood or wanted to witness what happened with Brianna. It's completely traumatic. And of course, Brianna gives her, lackadaisy, energetic, always says it's bullshit. She doesn't show a lot of emotion of what happened to her. So it's like, is she going to sue the LEPD? Because what happened was wrong. So then TT's wedding's coming up. They wanted to give Brianna an invite. They couldn't find her address. But of course, she's terrified to leave her home. She's been terrified to leave her home ever since it happened. Her son was supposed to go to school, and it was stressful for her to walk out the door. And she said, I am tired of this. I'm tired of my brothers and sisters killing one another. I am tired of being afraid to go outside. My son can't play like a normal kid. I am tired of things. I am tired for my son about to imitate things that can get him killed. I am tired. I was completely in tears from this scene into the ending of this video because I understand what Brianna's mind was because it was her son. That anything could have happened that night, and nothing warranted for her to get arrested like that. Nothing did. But we're gonna get more into that. But that's where it left off at with them. Boogie is now has a confessional. He's in scenes, but this scene with Savannah was weird to me. We haven't seen Savannah since her last meetup with her father Stevie when she acted like an asshole. So they're hanging out. I never thought that Savannah would hang out with Boogie again. So they're getting some juice, and they took a shot of ginger. His her birthday passed, his birthday passed. He sold some art stuff. Then JoJo calls him to invite him to a small, intimate gathering of one of his artists that he's managing. She has a video premiere of her new song, and he wants to invite them. Cool. Savannah wanted to ask if Denise was going to be there. Of course, his wife. Why would she not be there? So then Boogie receives a message from one of Brianna's followers of what happened the night she got arrested on her live. And Boogie didn't even want to finish what happened. Like the same point in time while he was talking to Savannah, she's like, "You lying? That's nothing to joke about." He wasn't even be joking. I wouldn't even say that shit on camera. But he definitely broke down. He didn't like seeing his friend like that, and of course, they haven't seen each other since the last half of the season. Was that the first half of the season that they had their argument when Boogie was trying to tell Brianna she should slow down on her drinking, and she yelled at him. But he thought that they left as a mutual understanding, and that's the last time he saw of her. I must have blanked because I remember, yes, did Brianna go too hard on Boogie when he wanted to be a friend and ask her? But I felt like Boogie, I don't know, I just feel like Boogie didn't do him much of a justice by shutting down and not really engaging. He just did this whole song and dance of wanting to meet up with her, even though he knew the cameras were going to be there. She said, "Come up." He said no as soon as she had a drink in her hand. And I'm like, Boogie, what was the whole point of doing that? Hence, so why you messing up her time, her schedule? She was cooking, she was in her element, and you want to talk about something. Then you say, "Never mind, I'm gonna leave." I would have gotten irritated with your ass too. But we're gonna move on. So he wants to reach out with her. Okay, so moving on. JoJo, he's meeting with Twist, Eric, Lazy, Devin. Who else? Am I missing somebody else? And I think that's it. This was a weird scene for me. All the men of the cast, besides Sam and Tyran and Sean, they were all sitting there playing dominoes and spades. And while they're playing, Devin gets loud. He's one of those people who plays games. He gets a little loud, gets a little competitive, ends up talking shit about the books he has, how he plays dominoes. You know, if you got men in your family that plays cards and play dominoes, you hear them slapping it, yelling, talking shit. You know what I'm saying? So it bothered Twist because he was loud. But he's like, "Listen, I have never heard anybody tell me how loud I was, but we are outside." Lazy Bone wanted to tell him, "Let's keep it to a mutual respect, okay?" Okay. It was just weird. I'm like, y'all really have nothing else to do when it comes to this season. Was anything happening this season that made it worthwhile, or y'all just gave all the good stuff in the beginning and now it's died down? I have no idea. So Lazy and Twist have a side conversation and about what happened, with Twist and what's going on with him. So he talked about he went back home to Texas for COVID, but then he got this gun case, he beat it, he's not going to jail. So he just trying to, move forward, make better decisions, and not, go back to that. He talks about how him and Bieber were running the world, acting crazy, acting wild. I'm not like that anymore. Excuse me. Lazy can see himself and connect with him. He's been through a lot of trouble, but he realized that, it's all about fixing your mistakes and moving on, right? So since, this was Twist's redemption, his manager or the head of his label, Mac Main, he set up a festival for him and got him what's the word? I got him a gig. So there's this festival in Miami and Twist is a part of it. So it's been a long time since he's been on stage and he's trying to make sure he doesn't let nobody else down. Is that what it is? Right. So it continues on. So we're at the Miami Festival. He's on the red carpet. I'm like, oh, this is nice. Something else that we haven't seen Twist do when it comes to music. Because all we see Twist do is walking around with weed and them oversized house shoes that he sells. And that's it. But I'm happy for Twist. I am. I wish I heard the song. I didn't hear the song. So he performs and he got love from the crowd. And he's just happy back on stage. And he said music was his calling. It was early on and when he was growing up. And he's super happy. Then we see his girlfriend on the tour bus. I'm like, that's your girlfriend? Okay, what happened? I don't know when that happened because at your party you had white strippers and now you got this girlfriend. Okay, and it said her name. All right, cool. Go ahead, Twist. Do you. Everybody was proud of him. I'm happy for Twist. Moving on, I'm gonna look for that song because I did not hear the song. All I heard was him, narrating how the event went. He just didn't hear the music at all. Didn't hear it. So we now get to JoJo. He's at his soft launch of his new artist Jack. It's a special viewing. Eric and his wife showed up. And the first thing is on their mind is, where is Denise? Where is Denise? Where is Denise? She coming. She says she's on her way. Good, because I miss her. Oh my God. I swear to God. So, of course, he's still feeling embarrassed by he got stubbed the last time, but hopefully she was to come. Everybody's arriving. Vanessa arrives. Twist arrives. Boogie, Savannah, everybody. And they're constantly asking him, where is Denise? Where is Denise? Especially Eric and Aaliyah. Oh my God, can y'all shut up? What do y'all have to do? Eric, I want you and your wife to come up with something. Because what do y'all have to do? What's y'all storyline? I'm sick of y'all being a part of everybody else's shit and not giving up shit. Eric, you talk about you moving forward with this new business that's making you a lot of money, but what's your life like? What's your home life? What's your work, besides your work life, what's your home life? What's your wife's life? What is going on with y'all? We have not seen anything between y'all. All y'all do is keep your head, y'all nose, and y'all minds in everybody else's shit. And I'm tired of it. I'm tired of your messiness. I'm tired of you and your wife, y'all. I'm tired of it. I really am. Then they're talking about Brianna and what happened on live. That's crazy. I don't want nothing else to happen to us. And again, everybody's asking, where's Denise? And here go Eric. I think it was Denise. I think it was when Denise finally shows up. No, this hasn't happened yet. So, everybody's talking. Where's Denise? Eric messy self want to talk about what happened. Oh, no. Sorry, I'll take that back. Eric wants to talk in a confessional about where's his wife at. This is a big night. Why wouldn't she be here to support his wife? Eric, worry about your wife's dress. Worry about how your wife leaves the house. Worry about how you allow your ass for your wife to walk out looking like that. Aaliyah is not an ugly woman, but she does not know how to dress. And you got all this money. You cannot afford your wife to have some nice clothes. It don't even have to be name design. Have this shit look nice. Y'all can afford it. I don't know if Aaliyah is not used to having this money. I don't know. But she don't never look together. Never. Now listen, the outfit that she had on wasn't bad. It just didn't do nothing for me. Like her leather dress with the plaid and the sneakers, that's a fit. It's just her damn hair. Her hair was flat. It was dry. She had this cap on. I don't know if she's trying to do this whole Bonnie and Clyde. My man wears snapbacks. I gotta wear snapbacks. I don't know. She could have wore a bucket hat with that outfit and that still would look nice. But she just look a mess. So, where we at? So Savannah sits down, and this is because we had not seen Savannah since the party. And Twist is looking for an apology, but he wants to give her grace and say, hey, what's up? How you doing? And can you apologize to me? Apologize for what? For ruining my party. I did not ruin your party. Okay. Why you like this? Because I just feel like he's owed an apology. He's owed one, okay? And she wants to be an asshole, say she didn't want to ruin it. And he said, listen, at the end of the day, you showed your ass in my party. You made Creed act like a fool. Why can't you be the bigger person and say you sorry? Why can't you do that? But she doesn't say, she doesn't see herself being wrong. She says, fuck you. I would have been stopping from that point. I wouldn't have nothing to do with Savannah because she gets on my damn nerves. Then she ate some wings and they were nasty, and Twist set her up. He gave her old display wings because he needed her to taste how nasty she can be to other people. Have a taste of your own fucking medicine, Savannah. How about that? I can't stand this little girl. I can't stand her. An asshole. Because I'm sorry. I know it's been a minute for the party and everything, but you still owe this man an apology. You did act an ass at that party. You made Creed act like an ass. Creed did take accountability by here, sorry. And you don't want to say nothing at all. I'm done. Moving on, I'm done. So Denise shows up. She looks great. She looks fantastic. Aaliyah, take notes. That's how you dress. That's how you dress, Aaliyah. She looked as simple in that rush ruffle tie with them blue jeans. Her hair looked nice. Her makeup, simple. That's how you look. It's not that hard. Aaliyah, ask Denise to help you out. Come on. Send her to your stylist, Denise, because she needs help. So right now, she just there to be a supportive wife for JoJo. She is still really what's going on between them. But right now, we're not going to get to that tonight. This is about him moving forward. Brianna arrives. She says hello to everybody, especially the Boogie, where they haven't seen one another. She's out to Vanessa, and they go off to have a side conversation. So she appreciates him for reaching out. But of course, her mind is, where have you been? The last time I spoke, we had a conversation. You told me I had a drinking problem. I'm like, fuck you, I'm grown. But I was mad because we never talked about it afterwards. And you've been MIA, you've been ghost. And everybody can tell because when Boogie came back, he does not check in with nobody. He goes completely ghost. And she doesn't like how, as close as we are, I don't like that we don't speak for a period of time. I want us to come up with a way we're checking in one another. You know, let's check in from time to time. Don't let it like a month or 2 months go by without us talking. I don't like that. And Boogie recognized that he has a problem reaching back out to people that he cares about. He has a problem with doing that. He needs to work on it. Um, yeah. So, considering what Brianna has went through, Boogie will take however he can take to still be in Brianna's life. If she's mad at him, don't want to be around him, he still wants to be there for her because he still cares about her, which I like. Um, where am I at? Yeah, Brianna is at a space where she has to be careful who she allows in her space because if she rocks with someone, she rocks with them hard, and I have to make sure that I put it in my perspective to care back because I know Brianna has a tough exterior and a hard trauma to get past. So of course she definitely values trust. She values loyalty, and right now she doesn't know how to do that right now. Like she said, because I sometimes don't care for the people, and right now my life has been an uproar. I felt unsafe in my own home. She's raising a little boy. He did not deserve any of this. Um, And if you see me having a drink, do not judge me. And especially don't judge me publicly. But that wasn't Boogie's issue. He wanted her to slow down her drinking. That's all he wanted her to do. And he said he'll take a drink with her now. She said, "Oh, you drinking now?" "Yeah, I'm good. Okay. He did go to rehab for his past drinking. He's learning to control himself. He's learned not to go out of he's learning how to not drink just to drink. And she thanks him for being there. She does find it weird that he's drinking because the last time he did accuse her of having a drinking problem, but she'll let him have it. And she said, first of all, I don't have a drinking problem. My drink is getting low. Hello. So basically, she wants to be in a space where someone can hear her and understand her without judgment. And Boogie said, I'm the best listener on the planet, so you got me. I'm in your corner. So she gives him a hug for being there. 2 reasons. One, her shoulder hurts. And 2, she has not been fucked in a long time. So she held him. She smelled him. See, you smell good. That's why I didn't want to hug you. I don't know. Have Boogie and Brianna crossed that line? I think Brianna finds Boogie attractive. I think Boogie finds Brianna attractive. But they're such good friends. I don't know if they want to cross those lines yet. But okay. So Tanise talked to Vanessa about TT's wedding. And Vanessa's schedule is wonky. She's not sure she'll make it. That's when Eric's messy, miserable ass wanted to chime in and talk about, oh, you're not going to the wedding? Oh, if you're not going, I don't think we can go, right? Y'all not going? Twist said, I'm the DJ, so I'm going. I don't know what. Eric, do you go as a spy or something? Because every time I'm seeing you in a scene with everybody, you're getting information about TT's wedding. But I feel like you're the main one bringing up TT's wedding. Then you go back to Sam in Egypt and talk about TT's wedding. Eric, why are you here? Why are you here? Okay. So Jack's video is performing. I like the song. I love the video. I'm gonna look it up. JoJo realized that even though Tanise came to support him, they still got some issues to work through, and he wants his marriage to work. Tanise feels like everything is happening between her and JoJo. She doesn't like feeling unsure to how he feels, and knowing what the bumps that they've had in their marriage, she's now maybe thinking divorce can come up, but that's the reality, and she doesn't want it to be the reality, but she doesn't know where to start because they've been bumping heads. You know what, Tanise, I hope that you and JoJo can make it right. I just believe that the second child came and you guys are not, well, no, I'm not. Okay, I'm gonna put myself in the situation. I had my daughter last year and she turned 1 and now she'll be turning 2. And the one thing that I told my husband, we're about to have 2 kids. I don't want us to lose us, just like we didn't lose us with our son. And we have not lost us with our daughter. It's made us stronger, but we still have to work around finding the balance for us as far as being parents. So Jojo and Denise need to have a conversation of the balance of having 2 kids, also having a marriage, and also being business. You know what I'm saying? You guys have to come up with that balance, have a full conversation. Jojo, you have to understand that now that you have 2 kids, Tanice's mind is all over the place. She's now focusing on not one mouth but 2 mouths, along with your mouth and hers. So you have to be patient with that. You cannot expect for her to just jump up and be the Tanice that she was after her daughter. You cannot do that. But y'all need to have a conversation because you're expecting a lot out of her in such a short amount of time after the baby came. So y'all need to fix that. I was so hoping that we get one episode without talking about TT's wedding, but I was wrong. It's a quick scene between TT and Sean about the amount of people that she's inviting that aren't unvaccinated, especially Tyrone. She's going through a whole lot of loops and tricks for Tyrone to come because he's not getting vaccinated. But she wanted Sean's family to get vaccinated, and it's not fair. Even though his family was against it, they did it for the sake of coming to the wedding. So basically, if Tyrone comes, he's getting tested and everything. If everybody gets sick, that's on you. Again, like I said, it shouldn't have to be this hard. Excuse me. Just give out a notice. I have members of my family arriving for the wedding. They do not have the vaccination, but they will have masks. Moving on. Asia, she's washing dishes at the place. Sean is crying. Not Sean. Sam is complaining about washing dishes in his own place. Goodbye, Sam. So Eric comes in. He's on town for a business trip, and he's worried about Sam's legal issues, and maybe Sam is not taking it seriously as to what the charges are. So Eric talks to Sam about feeling, what's going to happen, worst case scenario, all the charges, the sentencing that you might have to face. How do you feel? Sam is pretty much being nonchalant, don't care, don't give a shit about it. He's not stressed. He doesn't say, "Oh my God." Ugh. But Eric's practically trying to give him, trying to think of positive. What if you get a year? What if you get 3 years? What are you going to do? I'm going to do the same thing. Tell her not to waste her time. Don't worry about me. If I have to do 30 days, I'm going to tell her to go ahead and leave me. Don't waste her time. I don't know what's wrong with Sam. I don't know what's wrong with him. Nigga, do you not understand what's going on with you? The more y'all try to drag out the sentencing, something's telling me he's not going to receive no sentencing. And this is just me thinking from what I'm seeing, because I never hear nothing. I didn't see nothing besides the wedding. And that's supposed to be on the show coming soon. So did he get sentenced? Did he receive his time? I don't know, but I'm done. Anyway, she don't like hearing and talk about him possibly having to carry on any sentence because she wants him in her life. Blah, blah, blah. So then Eric talks about love life. How's the love life between them? I mean, it's going good, I'm not trying to push a wedding because of what's going on, but we do have our marriage license, meaning we have to get married within a year. But I don't want her to do that. I don't want her to have the weddings of the dreams, even if it's, a couple of family members on my side or her side that's not getting along with one another. And this goes into TT's wedding. Again, I'm tired of talking about TT's wedding. Tired of talking about it. Egypt Roy wished TT been in hers, of course, vice versa. But right now, it's over. Eric talks about their relationship. They were sisters and now it's over. Egypt talks about how she's been trying to reach out to TT, but she hasn't reached back out. So she's wondering, how can we get here? We fucked up, we failed as a family, and I want us to get back together for that. We got to fix this. The reason why it hasn't worked, Egypt, is because TT is done with y'all asses. Now, if we go back to where it all started, yes, was TT poking on Sam's business or what he made, didn't make, his situation with his baby mamas and his kids and all that stuff? Absolutely. But it wasn't just her. Everybody viewed Sam as an opportunist. He was not good for you. Everybody did. She was just, the closest one to you that told you about it. Well, her and Brianna, everybody, and y'all let it get to the point where Sam made up a nasty rumor about TT wanting to be with him, and then you allowed your aunt to make a rumor about TT's fiance cheating on her early on in their relationship. So there is fault put on both ends, but the way that Egypt, Sam, and Peppa went about it, they went about it completely left. Y'all went too far into destroying the connection between y'all. And right now she want to fool with y'all. So it's gonna take some time for both of y'all. TT can understand her faults, but Egypt, Sam, and Peppa need to fully own their part in this situation. It wasn't TT who broke it. It was you guys. Y'all need to take caution with that, okay? Moving on. So we're ending it with Brianna. She is in the studio recording, viewing some music for a jam session. I listened to that song that was, showcasing a little bit. It sounded great. I'm gonna have to go back and download it. Tiny comes in. Brianna and Tiny have connected through a mutual friend, and Tiny wants to know she has family beside her. So Brianna talks about how appreciative she is. She loves her for being herself. She was blown away by Brianna's performance at the showcase and want to know more about her. Well, Brianna is self-taught in a lot of things, and the more she studies, the more she realizes she cannot relate to other people. She is very guarded, but then she brings up what happened this past month. The police came to her house while she was on Instagram. She filmed everything. Her son was in the room, scared out of his mind, and everything just came out. So the next day, the doorbell rang, and her son instantly got scared, like he had like a PTSD flashback because his mom was taken away in an uproar, and he didn't like it. So she got scared, the fact that her son got scared, and this is when Brianna her emotions started to come out, and she was breaking down, and she did not deserve what happened to her because she didn't. And she said she's been through so much. She was homeless at one point in her life, and she's always figured out stuff all her life. It's all about her figuring out. And now that she has a tiny person who depends on her, and she cannot keep doing this with no help. And Tiny talks about being a young mom, and that was the greatest moments of her life, the greatest joys. Brianna knows that her son is a blessing, but she cannot let her guard down. She cannot trust people. And she's having a panic attack. And while Tiny is trying to give her comfort, she said, "Don't touch me." But at the same point in time, while Brianna is being in a space where it's not being a judgmental space, she's still feeling the trauma of. Hey y'all, I'm back. But like I said, my camera just died. So hopefully I have put on the charger so it can give me some juice. But basically, Brianna was going through a panic attack of what happened to her, and it brought her back to the moments of the trauma that she's been trying to deal with. And she wishes someone can take care of her, and that she's tired, and she knows there are people who have tried to be there for her, but she surpassed them and written them off. And Tiny wants to know, why does she feel like that? Because you are enough. You the shit. What's the problem? She struggles with her childhood because she wasn't grown up properly. And while she's trying to break what her parents did not build her up to be, she's doing that with her son, telling that her son is beautiful, he's intelligent, he's amazing. In her life, she remembers a lot of traumatic experiences. Growing up as a child, she was panhandled, moving from dope house to dope house, and her parents want to act like it never happened. But she remembers it. So because she had piled on her own growth into it, she just shakes from those times of being mishandled and mistreated. And from the tiniest touch, she just, gets don't touch me. Please don't touch me. And at the same point in time, she's recognizing that Tiny is not the enemy. But Tiny's trying to be there for her. But it's a block that Brianna has to break in order to allow people in. But she has been so broken, and she has put her trust in people that have broken that trust. She doesn't know how can she tell who's there for her. And she said sorry. She thought she got over it. She thought she was healing. But with what happened with the police, it brought it back. It brought it back to her not being safe. And she thought that her home was her safe space. And right now, I do not feel safe. My son was not safe. I do not feel safe. Y'all, I was in tears in this scene. I was bawling, crying. I was like, I cannot deal with this, Brianna. I can't. To not feel safe in your own home, to be afraid to leave, it is scary. Right now, it's scary for my kids to like go outside and play and be normal kids or what's going on right now. It is completely scary. So with what happened, she don't feel safe, and Tiny want her to flourish. You can move past that. You are an amazing person, a mom. I want to see you success. I want to see you win. I want to get into the painting that you do. And she apologizes for unloading her trauma on her, and she thanked her for being there and allowing her to open up and emote that in a judgmental space. And she did ask Tiny in the beginning to not be from a judgmental space, and she gave her that and not be judgmental. So she appreciate that for trying to give me comfort. But when I'm in that energy, do not touch me. I don't want nobody else to touch you. So Tiny encourages her to say, I'm here for you. I want you to thrive. I want you to flourish. I want you to be present in your life. I want to be present in Brianna's life and help her in any way for her childhood trauma, whether it's counseling, anything that she wants to be, on her way of healing. Excuse me, because of what happened with her. So she thanks her again, and she also wants to learn how to give a fuck because she's back in survival mode. And it's like she was back being 12 years old, and it was triggering, and she doesn't want it. She doesn't like it. And that was the end of the episode, but like I said, that whole scene with Brianna broke me down. I know folks look at Brianna as this abusive, toxic, drunk, but Brianna has a story. And it's a beautiful story to tell, and it's just crazy how the way that her life was, especially, I heard she was kidnapped and everything. My heart goes out to Brianna. It was so sad to hear her. But I want her to get the help that she needs. She definitely is fighting for her life. She's fighting for a great life for her son. And she wishes that she can give trust, she can, trust people and they can give her what she wants. But of course she has to keep her circle small, really small. But again, my heart was out to Brianna. I was in tears for this moment. I was thinking of my own kids. But that's it, you guys. That's all I have. Please stay tuned for my next video, and I'm going to see you guys later. Bye.